game review. Now that, if you don't know, is pretty much The Legend of Zelda taking on the Dynasty Warriors type stuff. Is it made by the developers of Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, it's made by Koei, the developers of Dynasty Warriors, all the different Dynasty Warriors variants and other games. And apparently it was their idea too. They went to Nintendo and said, hey, we would like to make this Zelda crossover. And Nintendo said, all right, go for it.
They said, money? Okay.
Yeah, and they worked with them to make it to some degree, but I've heard, if you've seen any of the Nintendo Directs about it and things like that, they gave the Dynasty Warriors team a good bit of leeway. The Dynasty Warriors guys were very enthusiastic about not straying too. Obviously, they had to stray from the Zelda setup, but they wanted to incorporate Zelda a good bit. That's why they wanted to make this game in the first place, because they were all fans of the franchise. They're guys
Zelda is just one of the biggest franchises of all video games of all time.
Yeah, and for some of these guys, they talked about it was something like, your favorite game as a child, now you get to make it. And it was kind of, a daunting task, you would say, to start making a Zelda game. But they took it on, and I gotta say, it's an amazing game. Okay. All the hype, and like I said that I was waiting for it and expecting good things out of it.
We have dropped lots of different bombs about that game in the previous months. So
yeah, and everyone I've heard from agrees too. It lived up to the hype. It really did, and it really met the expectation. What we were expecting, we're expecting Dynasty Warriors. Several elements from the different Dynasty Warriors franchises, because there's a bunch of different split-offs, right? With not simply a Zelda skin, but with a little bit of like Zelda elements mixed in. And they delivered that. Like it doesn't feel just like a Dynasty Warriors game. It definitely feels like strongly like a Zelda game done in a new style. But staying true to this hack and slash format of the Dynasty Warriors and the way it progresses. And honestly, I think it turns out better than probably any other Dynasty Warriors games that I've played. And I've recently gotten into Dynasty Warriors, like in the last 2 years, being a big fan. But this might be the best. Because they incorporate, like I said, things from several of the different Dynasty Warriors variants. They do a little bit of strategy during the course of the battle, like Empires did, where there are bases to take and that you capture, and outposts to capture and things like that. So you have to strategize and help make sure your bases are defended in that way. There's build-up of weapons. There's all kinds of little extras. There's something that I haven't seen in most of the others, which you actually don't start with all the combos. You build up the combos. There's with your leveling, with your items and everything for all the characters, which is a cool, just extra thing to do. They incorporate Zelda in so well with how this level progresses, because it's not like Dynasty Warriors where you just go out, you fight, you're told, okay, go kill that guy, go kill that guy.
And they have no story in the Dynasty Warriors. I don't care if they try to.
There is more story here. It's super thick, but it is a decent story, and it's a pretty good Zelda story progression that mixes all the different Zelda games, or at least several of them, very well too, because they're all aware, because there's supposed to be a long Zelda timeline, right? And they're all aware of each other, and they end up going to different times, for instance. And they're aware, like, oh, wow, I'm in the time of the legendary hero of time. And they know about that, and it's a big deal, and they incorporate that very well.
So would this be one of the reasons that Nintendo finally decided to release, like, an actual, like, timeline for Zelda?
Maybe. I mean, they released it a little while ago, but it definitely helped. It definitely helped to incorporate it here. And the Dynasty Warriors teams, they're not strangers to doing that. Like Warriors Orochi had a big time travel element, and they went through different periods of China and different areas and things like that, and so they had to mix things in that one too. But it seems to be more relevant in this one for some reason, even though that was they go through historical periods. This is going through Zelda's stuff whatever timelines.
Zelda
and it just works
historical
very well.
periods.
Yes, yes. In fact, I think they call it that at certain points. You can unlock historical events and things like that.
Fictional historical events.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a very rich game. One of the things that I was curious about in the Dynasty Warriors games, you usually have like 100 different characters. You don't have that in this game. You think that might be a drawback, but there's only so many characters for them to choose from. They still have a good number, I think 13, 14, 15, something like that. But to also help compensate for that, and I almost like it better, each character has different weapon styles that you can get for them, and different weapon upgrades for each weapon style. So it's like playing a different character because the way you use them is very different, but you're only leveling up one character for regular stats, and you still play with some of your favorite characters even when you're playing a different style. One of the things I was surprised by was Link. He gets the fire rod, and for some reason I missed the version where they showed the fire rod, because I thought he was just going to run around with the fire rod and use it like a sword, and maybe he'll just throw fire while he was using it as a sword. But no, it's a completely different style, and it is amazing. That thing, you end combos, and it shoots out giant dragons, like, or turns into a multi-spouted flamethrower that just destroys everyone. Like it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. They do a lot of that.
Now,
and they incorporate other games.
You said there's like there's a bunch of characters. Do they include bad guys like Ganondorf?
Yes. They we've only had this weekend, but I think I'm right around the time that we're probably going to get some of the bad guys. Started encountering some of the bad guys like Ganondorf. Gurheem, whatever, from the Skyward Sword series, has shown up, but I fought him a few times, and I know you eventually get him. And some of the other guys, and some of the guys that were sort of good, sort of bad, like the Goron chieftain, he's shown up. You're going to get him.
Yeah, he's like bad, and then he's good in most of those games.
And they incorporate the same thing of he kind of goes crazy because something happens, and they make references to. They did a very good job making references to events in the Zelda series while not completely going in. Like, they'll twist it a little bit. Like, there are the main bad guys now involved in what those conflicts were. And you honestly don't even have to have played any of the... Like, knowing the references is cool, but I had never played Skyward Sword. I played through the Skyward Sword stuff. I didn't need to know it. Whatever. I got a little bit... indication of stuff from there. I got what I needed to know for this storyline, which was very well done. So that was another nice thing. I didn't feel like I was missing out having not played some of the games that you go through. You still get some of their story. You still get enough to really progress this story. That was cool.
Cool. So give it to us in a nutshell. What do you rate it out of 5 Chewbacca chainsaws?
I'm going to have to give this one a 5 because... Honestly, one, it seems like something that Chewbacca would be awesome in. I mean, come on, Dynasty Warriors with Chewbacca chainsaws.
We should have Star Wars Warriors. Star Wars Warriors. That'd be a cool one. That's an idea. Warriors, because they have to have warriors in there. Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have so many different skins, and like like I was saying, they've done so many different skins. They've done Greek stuff. I don't know why. It's Samurai. They did Gundam. And this is even more... This is actually a further departure from the normal Dynasty Warriors styles than the Gundam one was. Because they really... It's just a well-done mix of stuff. Like, the progression is great. And the incorporation of items. I could go on forever. Great game, though. Check it out. Definitely go play it, see for yourself.
Yeah, if you got a Wii U, go get it. So... All right, awesome. So,
go get a Wii U to get this, okay? Go do that and then play it online somewhere.
There you
kind
go.
of. I think you can only do that in adventure mode, but who cares?
We'll figure it out. Hit us up if you have it. Hit us up. Brendan needs people to play with, so we'll link you guys up.
Because I'm going to have to keep talking about it. 2-player in this game, best way to do it. So if you have a friend, pull them over to your house, start playing it. Get a Pro Controller right now before you get the game. Get a Pro Controller, play it, and play on the gamepad.
Get them together.
Yes. Everyone. Okay. It's fun for the whole family.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be about it for the evening. So.